Thank you. Must admit, I'm delighted today to reveal what is in actual fact a true character in, as you can see here, a faceless world. Thank you. Well, I'm very pleased that we've driven away those faceless people, but good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to all. I would like to say, with the support of our board and shareholders, particularly Chairman Dato Aslan and Managing Director of Proton, Dato Syed Zainal, and the whole board, we have managed to bring this fabulous new car from a clean sheet of paper to this unveiling today in just 21 months. And that's a global vehicle. And let me just rewind a little, if I may, because I tend to be a Lotus diehard. You cut my arm, you'll probably find green and yellow blood in it. But I work very closely with Colin Chapman, the inspirational genius who founded Lotus, and I was very privileged to have worked with him for 13 years before the tragedy of losing Colin. Then I went on to run Group Lotus until the end of '91. But 2 years ago, I was asked by the chairman and the board to parachute in and to take the helm of Lotus once again, to realign and rebuild Lotus and give this absolutely great brand the assured, strong and sustainable, profitable long-term future that we all know it can deliver and deserves, really does. Now, there were a number of challenges, obviously, but we've resolved those as a group, and we've resolved the way forward. The first one was we established a 5-year long-term strategic business plan, which was the first for 6 years, which the main board supported us on. And then the key issue was, with the full support of the shareholders, the investment support of recapitalising Group Lotus was absolutely essential, and that was carried out last March. And again, I'd like to thank the chairman and the board for their tremendous support. And as we all know today, in today's economics, this is an absolutely key issue. Now, as a cornerstone of our plan, and the first all-new model, which you see here today, for over 13 years, the car you see before you forms the logical next step for owners of our current range of what are great, iconic sports cars that you see on either side of me: Elise, Exige and Europa. And we will welcome the opportunity, obviously, and a lot of the customers will welcome the opportunity to move up into the new 2+2, which still embodies all of the great Lotus DNA characteristics that they know and love. And those came from Colin originally. And at the same time, we incorporated the same stunning style, design, and individuality, the key thing being the individuality of a Lotus. Now, this added focus on style and design detailing will help to attract a new breed of customer in a wider segment that will then discover the enjoyments of Lotus driving dynamics, which are quite incredible, and at the same time ecological. Now, the cab and the car itself, as you can see, is very much an elegant cab-forward design. It's got an incredibly efficient packaging, which you would expect from a Lotus, because that was always one of Colin's philosophies. And it's a unique Lotus all-aluminium structure and suspension, which you can see in a package just behind some of my colleagues over here. Now, this car, as all of you will probably realise, is the only true 2+2 transverse mid-engine sports car on the market, and it's powered by a 3.5 litre all-aluminium powertrain. Its A to B times are actually phenomenal. We won't give you the speeds at the moment because it wouldn't be appropriate, not with so many police around. But let me reiterate, We started with a clean sheet of paper in October 2006, and in just 18 months, had a very lean and mean organisation and can-do that is Lotus today. We had our first running EP cars, what we call experimental prototypes, and they went down the assembly line, all 19 of them, just like that. And they were, in actual fact, as good as production cars. Now, we wouldn't have been able to do that without the massive support of our chairman and board, for again I'd like to thank. Now, I want to talk a little, though, at the same time, about the breadth of talent at Group Lotus. It is, in fact, Group Lotus is two companies, both of them with great strengths. Now, within the 5-year plan, Lotus Cars Limited will deliver 3 new models. The total volumes probably not exceeding 6,000 to 8,000 units per year to ensure rarity, individuality, and most importantly, exclusivity. These will be cars genuinely for the few who do know the difference. Now, Lotus Engineering, our other company, our high technology consultancy business, has in fact bucked the trends in the industry. And I'm very, very delighted that with the hard work and focusing that's gone on in Lotus Engineering and client needs for the business, in the last year alone, we've delivered more than 340 projects for over 140 clients globally. That includes from the very largest OEMs to the very tiniest and smallest and newest car companies and tier ones. Now, we serve those clients around the world from our bases in the UK, obviously, in the USA, Lotus Engineering in Detroit, in Japan, in China, we have a wholly owned company, in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, we have a very large high technology operation, and soon we'll be opening, and in fact this year, we'll be opening new technology centres in India and in Saudi Arabia. So you really see we are a global company, and it is a 724 business. Now, the first of our 60-year heritage, which really is our brand image and our brand equity, we celebrate this year. On September the 14th at Hethel, everyone's welcome. Clive and Hazel Chapman, thank you for coming today, Hazel and Clive. We appreciate it very much. They will be opening the event, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy a day at Lotus, seeing what it really is about, not only from the Lotus Cars perspective, but from the Lotus technology viewpoint. Now, the second strength and the key for our company and the salt of the earth is our people. And I would like to salute each and every one of you that have played your parts over the last 2 years in turning the company round and getting us to where we are today. And we are running live at the moment back to the factory on that. At the same time, we'll be pleased to know that we are recruiting heavily to meet a very challenging and aggressive growth plan, which features not only the 3 new models, but also expertise in emerging ecological technologies essential for the future of the automobile, for the motor car, and such as biofuels, hybrids, and electric vehicles. For example, we're producing 5 electric vehicles a week at the moment, the first electric sports cars in the world. So I'm very proud to stand here at the helm of Lotus once again, and I do believe, and I know, the whole team supports it. We have a very bright future, and it's signalled by this fantastic car beside us, which proves that Lotus now, after 13 years, is really on the roll. If I may invite Dato Aslan, who's the chairman of Proton and also the chairman of Group Lotus, to step forward and let you have a few of the most bits and pieces of information, but most important of all, the secret of the name of our new car. Thank you, Dato Aslan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lotus stand. On behalf of Proton, as shareholder of Lotus, we would like to congratulate Lotus on this launching of its latest model. We at Proton are extremely proud to have been able to provide support and guidance for this wonderful new sports car project, designed and built in the United Kingdom, just as we are proud of the close and friendly relationship that exists between our businesses in Malaysia and the UK. To us, Lotus isn't just a car maker we happen to have a close relationship with. Lotus, in fact, is an important technology partner to Proton. In fact, Lotus is regarded by many as a center of technological excellence for the whole automotive community. Ladies and gentlemen, I have very much enjoyed watching this new Lotus sports car evolve from the drawing board to the built-up car we see today. I am deeply impressed with its high quality and speed to market. As we know from our Malaysian business, in today's market, it is extremely important to act fast in meeting customer expectations. As far as expectations are concerned, this car is expected to appeal to both the more mature sports car enthusiasts and purists alike. In fact, we firmly believe this car is the best car to come from Lotus thus far. Michael Kimberley tells me this new Lotus is designed to be faster, more comfortable, and more importantly, to give an exhilarating ride. And ladies and gentlemen, this has all been possible only because of the unwavering commitment, dedication, and perseverance of the entire Lotus management and staff. And of course, the continued support of the Lotus dealer network and the loyal Lotus customers over the years. Thank you to everyone. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the new Lotus Evora. Thank you.
Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for being here today to help us launch the new Lotus Evora. We hope you will take the time to have a close look and that you will approve of the vehicle. Russell Carr, our designer, and Roger Becker, our vehicle engineering director, will give you a quick preview of all of the key points, and then please do feel free to join myself, Dato Aslan, Dato MD, and the whole of the board and our team of designers and engineers to ask any questions. We're open to questions, and we would like to make sure that you know everything there is possible about this absolutely fabulous car. And quite frankly, when you look at it, you wouldn't believe that that was a 2+2, and I'm sure you'd all agree. But thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you have a good morning and a good afternoon. Thank you.
Now comes the fun bit. I mean, Lotus is a company all about dynamics. It's not just the dynamics of the car, it's the dynamics of the people that create our cars. For me, I come from a dynamics background. I'm a vehicle engineer that is responsible for all of the dynamics of Lotuses for many years past and many years in the future, I hope. The car has to be as dynamic as it looks. Russell will tell you that the looks of the car are beyond my imagination and my understanding. So I'm going to hand over to Russell to tell you all about why the car looks the way it does.
Thank you, Roger. I don't know about the dynamics at the moment. I've certainly got dynamics in my hands at the moment trying to talk about the car. I'll just take a brief moment to talk about the design process on the car. As Mike has said, he said it's a very clear, simple brief. We had to make the car visually stunning. Obviously, as a sports car, it has to be incredibly beautiful, it has to look dynamic, it has to look modern. But on this program, we also had to think about not just purely form, but also function as well. So we wanted to consider making the car have everyday usability. The car has to be a +2. And we also wanted the design of the car to assist in the functionality of the vehicle as well. So we were looking at making sure the shape assisted with aerodynamics for low drag and downforce on the car. Obviously, as a designer as well, we wanted to put our own standpoint on this vehicle. It's very important that it was modern, but we wanted the car to have a classical twist as well to it, because we think that's what's going to last well in the market. Our cars need to look good on the day they're launched, they need to look good 5 years in production, and they need to look good 20 years from hence when they're on the classic car market as well. Obviously as well, Lotus DNA is incredibly important as well. We want this to be recognisable within the Lotus family. So when we talk about Lotus DNA, we have a few things which are important to us. At the front of the car, we have a signature grille. There's the way we treat certain technical features on the car and make them key characteristics of the design. So the top exit radiator, the rear wing and the rear diffuser on the car are all there to create downforce. And other details as well, such as the cutaway sill, very, very important as well, improves ingress and egress out of the car. Perhaps most fundamentally with a Lotus though, it should look agile, athletic and sleek. So the agility comes from the way we shrink wrap the forms over the mechanical package. We tuck the body surface under, and as I say, we've cut away the sill on this as well, so the wheels look at each corner, so it has fantastic stance. A really short overhang on the car, no wasted space at all. The athleticism comes from the strong shoulder on the car, which you see here. If you look at the car in plan view, you can see a lot of coat shape, and that's also accentuated in the side view, so it looks like an animal's torso. The sleekness comes from the fluid forms on the car that run effortlessly from the front of the vehicle right the way to the back, highlighted by crisp intersection lines. Of course, as well, it's important that we have new characteristics on the car, so we're very proud of the visor screen on here. It sits within this very teardropped cabin, which once again emphasises the rear haunches. Very distinctive graphic on here, and it creates what we call a crossover graphic here on the rear of the car where it meets the rear glass. Perhaps the thing though I think will be the biggest surprise to people is on the inside of the car. Like an Elise, it's very pure and very sporty, but we've done it in a much more exotic manner, a much more sophisticated, elegant manner. A lot of handcrafted leather in there with visible stitch lines, precision engineered metal panels with flush mounted edge lit momentary switches. And of course at the heart of the car is the driver focused environment. So we work very closely with Roger and his team to optimise the position of the steering wheel, the gear shift, the pedals, etc. so you can feel at one with the car. And from that area where there's a very modern instrument layout, very clearly laid out with auxiliary digital dials, the surfaces flow around the cabin, echoing the shapes on the exterior of the car, drawing your eye all round the vehicle and cosseting you inside the car so you feel at one with the vehicle when you're driving it. And I guess that's the appropriate time to hand back to Roger, talking about the driving experience of the car.
Thank you, Russell. A car that looks as dynamic as the Evora looks today, it has to drive like a Lotus, like everybody expects a Lotus to drive. As I said, my roots are in vehicle dynamics. I'm responsible for making sure that this car pleases everybody. And with this car, we expect to have a very broad base of customer. Those that we know today are hardened, die-hard, enthusiast Lotus customers, but many more besides. It is a car that has to suit many different minds and attitudes. How do we do this? Well, it all comes from the structure. Believe it or not, if you look over to my right here, there is under this glass case a structure that looks quite big. It does fit under there. Every time I look at it, I think it can't possibly fit underneath that car, but it does. And what do we have in that structure? We have stiffness. We have stiffness because that's the beginning of the performance of the car. Stiffness that's 2.5 times greater than what the Elise is today. Suspension systems that in their own right are stiff. We have designed new components from forged aluminium. We've brought Lotus into a new and modern lightweight age. A chassis structure made in our own facility in Worcester, Lotus Lightweight Structures. We have tyres that have been developed with close cooperation with Yokohama. We have a braking system to die for rather than to die from. It is Bosch and our engineers who perfected an ABS system that literally under braking squeezes the air out of your chest. It's phenomenal performance and developed by phenomenal engineers. The car is very much the car of the moment. It is the evolution of Lotus. It is a car with a tremendous vogue of the time. It is a car with a tremendous aura. It is the Lotus Evora.